Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the City Thots Podcast. Today, I'm your host, Sean, and I have Sam and Ivan.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, I really don't like sitting in this host spot. It's really far. I like my normal spot better.
No, it's
the
my
feng
seat.
shui is way better over there.
There's a
My
vibe here.
So
Now we're judging you.
Oh, how's everybody's week?
Pretty good.
It's good. I watched Dune Part 2.
Oh, it was good, right?
Okay.
This episode, I have been scouring the internet for some fun stories. If you're familiar with the subreddit, it is "Am I an Asshole?"
Oh, I love
where it goes over these different people are looking to get either reassurance or affirmation that they are or are not an asshole in some sort of situation. And this is whenever you're just on the toilet or on the bus, you just roll out these and you just laugh at people.
Okay, great.
I have a couple that I found that are actually really good.
I'm so curious if we're gonna agree with each other.
Yeah, exactly. I try to take a scope. These are ranges because I've already read them all, and
Okay.
some of them I'm like, oh, definitely an asshole. And then some of them I'm like, oh,
Depends on how
this
you
could
look
go
at it.
either way.
I
This
feel
could
I'm
go
going
either
to be
way.
defending half of them.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, that's a good person.
I'm the notorious asshole of the group.
At least he's self-aware.
Everyone knows I'm always the asshole. But I love it.
They're all about you.
Yeah, they're all, these are all different things that Ivan has done.
Sounds really familiar
I
here.
don't know. I did that.
I did that.
Pretty good.
That's me.
Yeah, this is actually just a undercover thing where we're just gonna
Roast
Out
each
me.
other.
out you. All right, the first one. Am I the asshole for sleeping naked on top of the covers to teach my flatmate's girlfriend a lesson?
Wait,
How convoluted this is already.
Wait.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll am I the asshole for sleeping naked on top of the covers to teach my flatmate's girlfriend a lesson?
What is the lesson?
I'll go through it. Also, keep in mind, these people on the internet really need to use some commas. So there's some really
okay.
run-on
Good luck
sentences
reading
here.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, new to Reddit, please bear with. So I, 21 guy, live with my childhood best friend, 22, also a guy, and have done so for the past 2 years. Up until last week, things were perfect between us. However, he recently got a new girlfriend, 23 lady, not female, 23
female,
lady. And she honestly seems great, except for one thing. She seemingly has the complete aversion to knocking. She and I have quite a lot in common. I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me when she just barges into my room without knocking first. Now, she never walked in on me doing anything untoward. I'm usually just chilling in my bed or studying at my desk. However, on at least 7 separate occasions, she has done it first thing in the morning and asked me if I want to have coffee. I sleep naked. Every time prior to the last one, I've been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I always point out that she could have, and she always giggles and say, haha, but I didn't. When she stayed over last week, in order to make a point, I intentionally slept on top of the covers. Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m., begins to ask if I want coffee, and sees my you-know-what. She immediately backed out of my room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My mate later pulled me aside and said I was bang out of order, accused me of deliberately exposing myself, and I'd pointed out that I had threatened to do exactly what I had done. I literally said, okay, I literally just said, okay, but what if I had no covers before and you saw everything? They're now framing this to the others that I'm some sort of sick creep that intentionally got naked and lay in wait because of her, and because of that's how I get my rocks off. And it kind of seems that it came off that way. Am I the asshole for doing this?
Okay, damn. There's layers.
Okay, that makes more sense. Just the initial sleep naked to teach her a lesson. I'm so lost.
Like, where are we?
Where are we going with this?
Okay. Okay, so he did say,
he was
warned.
exactly going to do
Do
it.
it.
Well, also he warned her. He was like, you keep coming in here, you could see. And she kept being like, but I didn't. Also, it's his room. You can do whatever you want in your room.
Yeah.
I feel like there's put something in front of the door or get a lock or something first. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of extreme to go right there.
Well, I think he could have maybe more seriously been like, hey, can you please knock before you come in?
It sounded like he did, though. It sounded like he prefaced, hey, can you knock?
Well,
or else I'm going to do this.
He said, aren't you... Is Sean the asshole for clinking?
Clank, clank, clank.
Every time, you're like 3 out of 5 or in terms of ratios for videos. I have to like figure out something for noises.
I gotta get like little mittens to just move around with.
Yeah.
It's Ivan's side eye. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And Sean's just clueless on the side.
I'm like,
Like,
oh,
clink,
what
clink,
was
clink, clink.
Just give Sean like adult baby mittens so they don't like
Yeah,
scratch themselves.
seriously.
So you don't make noises.
It seemed like what he did was maybe a little bit like jokingly say, you could have seen me naked. Mm-hmm. So I think there is like a step in between of like, hey, I find it really uncomfortable that you just barge into my room. But he kind of he was halfway there already. Like, he was already there. Also, I still believe it's your room.
It's your room. Yeah.
Like, what if you were really hot and you just were like, I need to sleep
Yeah.
without the covers
You preface,
covering me?
He already slept naked. Like, what if
true.
it wasn't even like, yeah, I did say I would do this to you last, but what if it was really hot that day and he's like, he just needed to whip it out?
No, this seemed premeditated. He was
know.
like, oh, I'm gonna like imagine how many nights he's just doing waiting for it to happen. Is he like sleeping every night? He's like, oh, this is the night. Get on top of my covers.
And was he sleeping on top the whole night, or did he set an alarm in the morning and get on top?
He's like, it feels cold.
The whole night.
6:55. Let me just fucking.
That's true. That's true.
I just don't get why she can't just be like, hey, you want some like through the door?
Or just knock.
Like, I almost think it's more sus that she knows he's sleeping naked and still barges in.
That's what I was thinking
Why?
at first. That's what I was thinking at first. I'm like, what if, is she like wanting to see something?
She's like, oh, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But,
I get having a boyfriend and then their roommate becomes like your almost little brother and you like to tease them. Like, I've had that before.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it, but I don't know. Like, if they were like, I sleep naked, I'd be like, oh, no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
There's a line.
Yeah. Even like, I say being aware of time of day. Like, I live with 2 roommates. One is a girl, and pretty much it's like my friend's girlfriend. But she, like, at night and in the morning, she always knocks. If she wakes up first and she's like, do you want coffee or anything? But midday, she'll just barge into the room. Because
Okay.
it feels safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
2 p.m. I'm not gonna be in my loins at 2 p.m.
Crazy shit
Oh,
happens
that's true.
at 2 p.m.
But odds are, like
Yeah.
the odds are in your favor. You're gonna just run into me like editing or like doing random things. So like that's okay. But still, it's the courtesy knock in the beginning.
Yeah, right? Especially if the door's closed. Like,
Full
why
close?
is the door
Yeah.
closed, you know?
True.
Like, if you're inviting someone in, or it's acceptable, usually the door's at least a little open. But, like, a full close, it's giving don't bother
Yeah,
me.
true.
Yeah.
So is this person the asshole here? What's your final?
I say they're the ass. Like the girlfriend
girl.
boyfriend duo are the asshole because they're going around now saying like making these stories how he's getting off on it. Like you don't have to go that
Yeah,
far.
like
that's
defamation.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not-
defamation. Like let the man sleep. If he likes to sleep naked and just wants to knock on the door, fair. He prefaced, if you keep doing this, you're gonna end up seeing something,
Yeah.
right? Like that's it.
I find it funny, but yeah, I don't think I can fault him for being in his own place,
No.
already naked, and then someone comes in.
He's in his own
I
costume.
guess that's true.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think maybe he's like 1 out of 10 asshole.
Yeah.
Like, he's not fully innocent, but that's his right, you know?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
could he
true,
have handled it better? For sure.
For sure.
There's so many other options, but
There are words.
do
There
I
are
respect
words.
his option?
Yeah.
I respect his option.
Is he the best communicator? No.
No.
Is he an asshole? No.
No.
Okay.
He went with
Yeah.
visual learner.
Visual. Wow.
Trauma.
Trauma. Yeah.
All right. I got another one for you here.
You gotta be pretty confident in what you're packing to
That's true.
just flail it all out like that.
I don't know. I used to always just go around the house in my boxers.
That's fair.
That's me. Even when these guys would come over, some of our friends like, can you just put on some shorts? I'm like, nah, man, it's my casa. you want to chill here, play games or not?
All right. I got the next one ready.
All right, hit us.
Am I the asshole for telling my extended family how many men, roughly, my sister has slept with after she outed our youngest brother as a virgin? We had family dinner this evening. My family has 4 kids in total. Me, my elder sister, 29 female, younger sister, 24 female, and my youngest brother, 22 male. Extended family attended our family dinner. So all of our significant others, cousins, and uncles, etc., are there. During dinner, my
Grandpappy.
eldest sister and younger brother got into a mild disagreement. My sister seemed, at least to me, to be coming across as aggressive out of frustration from losing said argument. The two of them were too absorbed in their argument to realize the rest of us were getting a little fed up. Eventually, my sister got really fed up and said, "Shut up, I'm not going to argue with a 22-year-old virgin." My brother hadn't done any personal attacks up until that point, and it was completely unprovoked. I think it might have been the alcohol, as my sister is a mean drunk.
That's the worst.
That's
The worst
Anyway,
type.
I immediately told my sister to grow up and that she was making an embarrassment of herself. She replied by saying everyone knows he's a virgin and she didn't say anything wrong. This annoyed me a bit, as my brother definitely has confidence issues and doesn't need to be made fun of like this. So I responded by saying how she slept with well over 100 men while she was in college. And that since everyone in the family knows, this is not a big deal, right? Turns out her husband didn't know this amazingly. I genuinely assumed he must have known. He left the party angrily, saying my sister misled him about her past. Family is blaming me for their marital problems. I refuse to accept I did anything wrong. My sister bullied my brother in front of everyone. All I did was give her a taste of her own medicine. Am I the asshole?
Wow. It just kept going. It seemed so simple at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it just kept going.
100 bodies within
That's
4 years when they're
crazy.
undergraduate.
Yeah.
Because haven't we had that conversation before of like,
What's an obscene number? Like,
yeah, what? Because we don't
does
really
it get
care about
Yeah, no.
count. Like, that's totally up to you. But then there gets to a number where you kind of like, your
math-
eyes pop out a
the
little.
math
You're like,
doesn't
"Ah."
make sense.
Yeah.
Like, within 4 years?
Over
Over 100
100 is what it
Yeah.
said.
I
Holy
just
shit.
imagine being that husband and you're just at family dinner and all of a sudden that's where you learn it in front of the whole family.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah. And like
that's
he was just
something.
like on the side. Like there he
Yeah,
wasn't
he got,
even
he
part
got a
of
stray
it.
bullet.
Yeah.
He got a stray.
It was like, douche.
He's probably like, oh, my wife's drunk. She's doing it again. And then he just,
Yeah. Like, babe,
Nah.
don't do that. Don't do that. Boom.
Yeah.
From the sister. Whoa.
also, okay, I'm curious to, because they said like he didn't know her prior history or what she has led him on to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder like what's the story she cooked for him, you know? And she's like,
Yeah.
I'm a virgin when I first met you, or like I've been with two guys.
Or have they never talked about it?
Yeah,
They
it could
talked
also be
about
that.
it?
It could
Oh.
also be that.
But misled though, if you never talked, you can't really say someone misled you on to be.
I mean, who
Something.
would ever
It
It just
say,
sounds
yeah,
like those
hey, I've
details
had
weren't
hundreds.
revealed in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Whether they
yeah.
were like hidden or covered up, but it just
Yeah.
wasn't on the
Wow,
table.
I can't get over the over 100 thing.
Yeah, because
Like,
like
I'm lost.
you said, like I've been with like even say 10 people. 10 to over 100 is still a big difference. Even 20 to
Crazy.
over 100 is a big difference.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a fraternity.
Is she the asshole? I feel like again there were levels, and she went straight to 100. Like she could have threatened first. She could have been like, "Don't make me bring up how many people you've slept with,"
Yeah, true.
and started there, or been like, "Is that better than how many people you like? Is being a virgin worse than whatever?"
Yeah.
I think the
That would've
family was
opened a-
fed up, and that person went right for the kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they
Yes.
wanted like to
Done. Finish it now.
break
Yes,
everything. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, mission accomplished. Respect.
I respect him for setting up for a little brother. You know, if he has
I
confidence
agree.
issues, like, and yeah, you don't have to be like a 22-year-old virgin. That brings nothing, right? You could just have been like, oh, he's a 22 idiot or something. I don't know, but like you're attacking the and especially like in terms of social norms, you know, it is pressured on a guy to like have his virginity taken away at
Totally.
some point.
Yeah.
So if he's already having confidence issue with that stacked on top,
Yeah.
then, like, you know.
Yeah, the
that's
confidence
Yeah.
issues that everyone already seems to know about, that's like kicking someone when they're down.
For sure,
It's like
for
that's
sure.
that's a low blow.
Also, like in front of everyone and all these
The
people.
aunts and uncles
Yeah,
at
like
the
these
dinner.
people who shouldn't know anything about your
Yeah.
sex life. Like that's harsh.
Yeah, that's
And I feel like
foul.
I know what it's like to be picked on by like family in front of family. It doesn't feel good, man. Because you can't really push back. Like you're just kind of like, haha, let's just laugh it off and hopefully they'll move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna stand. This is the middle sister that defended her little brother, right? It wasn't the 29-year-old. Like it wasn't.
I think the eldest and the youngest are arguing. The
beefing.
middle is the speaker.
I'm gonna take that.
damn.
I'll take the middle. I'm agree with she did good. Could have been
But
better.
did she have to go so
No,
hard?
she didn't have to go so hard. I think if you're arguing that the eldest, like she basically fought fire with fire. Like you can't get mad
Yeah.
at the eldest for doing what you're about to do back.
So they got what they were owed to them, or was the first offense, did that warrant the response?
No, I'm saying that like the middle child defending. I mean, I don't think she's the asshole. I think the whole situation was like
bad.
obviously started from the eldest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you're the middle and you're arguing that you shouldn't be shaming one sibling, you can't turn around and then shame another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of
It is a little hypocritical.
you've lost
Yeah,
your
true,
point
true.
a little.
Yeah. Like
But I
Yeah, an eye for
understand.
an eye kind
I
of
also
thing is-
understand what it's like where you feel like you can't get through to anyone, and you feel like you have to just give them a taste of your own medicine.
I love
Not the
that.
best.
It's like frothing in the mouth.
Toxic
I
Ivan
love-
loves
Oh
going
my.
like you want to go down this road, we can go down like how do you not know what you're doing? It sounds hypocritical, and honestly, at the end of the day, the best option is you take the higher road, right? Whatever.
Yeah,
sure,
okay.
it sucks. And they called you a virgin or whatever. You just like walk away, right? At the end of the day, you won by doing that. But I love to be like, oh, you want. Okay, you calling out bodies now? Okay, we'll let the internet decide who's worse now. You know?
I'm dead.
Yeah. So I don't know. Toxic Ivan loves eye for eye. We go all day.
Yeah,
We
well,
did it, we're
we're trying
blind.
to suppress toxic Ivan a little
Yeah.
bit more every day.
It's just, it's like it's like
just
this hurt
scratches
me.
the
So
itch.
let's see how
I'm hurt you too.
now you understand how I feel. So now we both can be like
The dream,
Empathy.
the dream is that you are able to communicate so well that you could say it all and still have them understand how you feel without having to like attack them. But also, I strongly believe that you don't let idiots ruin your day. And like if they're just gonna be dumb, let them be dumb. You
Yeah.
know, like it's gonna bite
I
them
like
in the
that.
ass.
I like
Yeah?
that. Yeah.
So
yeah. It's like the first person to swear is the loser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that idea like they've stooped to a level where now they feel like they have to target something or use profanity. Then they've already lost, right? Let them be idiots.
But then that's also easier said than done when they're attacking someone you care about versus you.
Yeah.
True.
Like
true.
if they were saying it to like, obviously the little brother wasn't like, I'm gonna start like whatever,
Yeah.
and then the middle sister was like, let me defend you. I think that's different, or like I feel differently in that way. If someone was attacking someone I care about, I'd be like, oh, I'm going way harder
Yeah.
than I would go
What
for
if
me.
someone said like, the forbidden word to your brother? Like at least
Yeah,
I would
oh.
go nuts for you. I'd be like, you can't do that.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd be like, I don't know what communication is anymore.
yeah, I would throw.
I have
hands,
2 fists. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Right?
so.
Like
Especially if the person is targeting someone who can't stand up for themselves,
Yeah,
and
well,
then
that's what it is.
Totally,
it's like
exactly.
someone needs to learn
Yeah.
a lesson
Yes.
here.
his little brother's lacking confidence. He's not gonna stand up for himself. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
He's just there like, oh. And
Yeah.
that probably if someone's lacking confidence, when you hit something that they're very insecure about, it usually shuts them down. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like that would be like a finisher.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like he probably went to bed
Probably
crying
like,
that
I'm
night. Like
done,
that's
yeah.
really unfortunate. So do you think she won more points for defending the little brother than she lost by attacking in the way that she did?
I don't know. I think in the grand scheme of the family, they're gonna view the marital problems.
Totally
Yeah,
forgot about the
The
marriage.
marital problems are going to be a bigger issue.
Yeah.
I
That's
feel like
true.
unfortunately the younger brother will get glossed over. I think the marriage is the big issue they're
It
going to be
was like
talking
a
about.
a deflection of issues. Is now not even about the fight no more. It's are we gonna still have this husband in the family or not?
I'm so curious what happened after. Like I want updates. I'm sure they're fine, but like I just want to
Yeah.
know.
Like depending on how long they're married for, you're gonna like whatever. Your wife had her phase, but you don't want to be first, you want to be last, right?
It's true.
So like at the end of the day, like she's still the same girl you fell in love with, then sure.
Yeah,
but
true.
But do you want to be 101?
I'm experiment 626.
Okay. So your opinion was I don't know.
She's not.
I want to know, is she the asshole in your eyes or no?
I think in my eyes, this person, it's an unfortunate situation. I think this person's still an asshole.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
there's one thing to stand up to someone, but then there's a time and a place, and I think that could be handled better. Mm-hmm. Everyone's an asshole here,
Yeah.
but that person's still an asshole as well.
Yeah.
I like it.
Team.
She's not the asshole.
Do it again.
You go, sister.
Team everybody sucks.
Yeah.
That's what we got to.
Okay.
All right, I got another one. This one hurt. This one is spicy. Actually, it's not spicy. It's kind of sad.
Oh,
Am
no.
I the asshole for firing an employee after his parents died? I wonder where we can go from here. I am the VP of sales at a software company, and one of our sales development reps' parents passed away in the beginning of April. Sadly, they were involved in a car crash and both lost their lives. Now, the employee in question is a very young guy, 22 years old, and he has been with us for 10 months now. He's a great employee, and we were thinking about promotions in the next 6 months. His job is high paying, He's high.
He's high.
His job is high paying, one for a new grad, about $90K with commissions and base, so we expect a lot from this position. Because of the accident, we let him take 1 month paid leave of absence from work, and he's returned a few weeks ago, and his performance is super lacking. He is not very motivated. He's not cold calling or reaching out to prospects for the last 2 to 3 weeks since he's come back. Our whole management team has noticed this, and we decided to let him go because we feel like he'd need months and months to be able to produce the way he was used to. Am I the asshole?
I think it's an HR thing.
Literally lacking a lot of context there.
Yeah.
Like, did they just fire him immediately?
Yeah.
Were there talks? Like, was there...
It sounds like there was no talks at all.
I know. It's sounding
Yeah.
like they looked at it and they're like, seems like a lost cause to me.
Yeah, you're
There's
losing money.
That
there's
is
so many
so
red
messed
flags.
up.
It's crazy a company could even operate this way.
Yeah, because I like the first thing I was thinking of is like the steps usually like it's pretty hard to fire people in the corporate
For
world.
sure.
And like, yeah, did they just say his performance is bad? Because usually you got to do like performance reviews and
Yeah,
classes.
you need
Like,
documentation.
there's like multiple steps you
So
take
they need
before
like
you fire.
3 dings before
Yeah,
you
3
can
dings.
even
Yeah.
put on
get-
probation, all that stuff.
Yeah, on performance, like
Yeah.
like it's pretty tough to get fired on performance, especially if you went through all the steps and they signed and agreed to like get better.
Especially with all the context of like he just went on absence.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's
both
clearly
his
going through
parents
something.
passed
He's a
away.
young person. Like that's
Yeah,
Dang.
like I get like corporate, like okay, like at the end of the day, especially sales, sounds like he's in a sales role.
Mm-hmm.
Like performance is everything, and like at the end of the day, if they're losing money on you, then sure. But there's so many steps, like and yeah,
Well, it
it'd
depends
be
on where they
attribute-
are,
Yeah. Oh, true.
right? Like, aren't there some places
I feel like
it's
a lot
easier to
of-
fire?
I don't know, but also like think of like to gain a valuable and high performing individual. Usually that takes quite a long time, right? There's like a matter of luck that comes into it. You got to hire the right person. They have to get success in their role. So by the time you fire this person, get a new person, train that
sure.
person,
That's a lot of money.
That person the original guy could have gotten better and
Totally.
gotten his bearings back and started to perform again. And they
Damn.
just
That's
cut him.
That's a gamble, though.
But you
Because
can.
they said he sounds like he could take months.
Yeah, that's what it would take to train someone into this position. I think. I feel like you at least a month to replace them and train them.
Can you fire somebody without cause?
No,
You can.
I don't. Just because like I don't like you. Like what do you mean without cause?
I don't know. And then they pay you severance. I thought that was like a thing.
No, that'd be like a layoff at that point,
Oh, okay.
right? Like if it's just no cause, it's just like company is in the red for whatever they had to cut departments. That'd just be a layoff. I don't think that'd be a fire.
Okay.
Yeah. This sounds like he got
Dang.
fired. Like this sounds like he got.
Dude, he's the
Yeah.
asshole. There's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's fucking black and white for this one.
Yeah.
That is an asshole move.
Yeah.
That poor kid.
I know. I read this one and I'm like, this is not a debate. I just want you to
Yeah.
like hear this story.
If
I
have
don't
to
know,
read
guys.
it, you have to-
corporate toxic Ivan comes out.
Like there's so many little things missing here. But
yeah, the story was not.
Yeah.
Unless that's the full. If that's the full story,
that's just
then
it.
he is the asshole.
Yeah, he is the
Oh,
asshole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gave him 1 month, and then the first month he wasn't doing as well as he was. Cut him. Bro,
No
this guy
warning?
lost both his family.
Yeah.
There's no warning. There's no like there's no corporate steps. There's no help.
And then went to Reddit and posted about it. Like, Jesus.
He fired him, goes back, like, guys, I feel bad.
I feel bad.
Let me
Am I
write
the
about it.
asshole?
Instead of talking to HR before, you go to the internet after.
I know. Logs into corporate guy 565.
I was so curious what the comments were. It wasn't just like, what the
Oh no,
fuck?
he got ripped in the
Yeah,
comments.
I'm
He got
sure,
ripped in the
I'm
comments.
sure.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good
Dang.
read.
Yeah, no, that was the easy one.
Feels bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's just cruel, you know? Like,
Yeah.
give the boy some time. Plus, he's young.
I know.
22. Because, for a 22-year-old, he sounds like he was making good money. But at 22, you're still, like a year or two out of university or college. Now you have to deal with, like, what it's like to have no parents and all that other stuff. Like, bless you.
Thanks.
Bro, like, yeah, it's a
Dude,
lot.
and then what, you like lose a reference probably? You
Yeah.
fucking... Yeah, that's it.
You lose
Lose
a
reference.
you got to deal with all this other stuff. Like,
All
yeah,
right,
no.
asshole it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
for
He's
sure.
an asshole.
Okay.
And all of those people that voted that he should get fired are assholes too.
There's no
in the
there's
comments,
no way,
everyone
no
was
way.
like, no
but
way.
like, didn't he ask like the team or something? Didn't it say something like we all agreed that it would take too long?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah. The
Okay.
board,
Him
I
and his
guess.
HR department,
board.
or whoever the board
The
is.
whole company.
They
Shit.
probably don't have an HR department. It's just
Probably.
It's just CEO and VP just makes decisions.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. All right, I got another one for you. Am I the asshole for suggesting / letting my 17-year-old son get drunk? Ooh. I, 46 male, live with my wife and my 17-year-old son. My wife has been on a different continent for about a month taking care of her dying mother, so it has just been me and my son for the time. My son and I have a very close relationship where he tells me almost everything going on in his life. On Saturday, he told me that he was going to his first ever high school party this upcoming weekend. He was a bit nervous since he had never really drank before, but he knew that he was going to on occasion. I'm not really sure if this is relevant, but this is Canada where the drinking age is 19 in my province, and teenage drinking is very common. I asked my son if he wanted to have a few beers with me while we watch sport games as a test run of sorts. My logic is that if he goes out to a party with zero awareness of his tolerance, things could end badly, and it would be best for him to test out his limits in the safety of his own home. We had some beers over a few hours in the night. I cut him off at 6. He had beer in the past, but was never okay with more than just 1 or 2 at a time. He was pretty drunk, but he was okay, and he slept it off. We talked about it the next day, and we agreed that 6 was a bit much, and he knows he should have fewer than that at the party. I was actually pretty content with this whole situation since his first experience drinking in a safe environment went well, and he was comfortable going to the party now. However, in an effort to be transparent, I told my wife about it on the phone, and she was livid. She thinks this was reckless and irresponsible. Am I the asshole?
No.
Yeah, I kind of liked that.
That was great.
nice little
parenting,
wholesome
actually.
story.
That was
good.
nice.
That's a good story. I think what he takes away from, like, his dad cares about him, right? This is a safety thing.
Yeah.
I would do the same, honestly. It's like, okay, and I'm speaking if my kid was anything like me, he's gonna go and do it. If I'm telling him not, he's gonna do it. I might as well, hey, let's figure out your limits. You can play within it. It sounds like a bonding experience too. Having a couple beers with your dad, that's like a nice thing, you know. And then he felt better after to go to the party. Like that's a W. I think
I agree.
So that's just good. It sounds like good parenting.
Yeah, it sounds like a parent that actually acknowledges that they were a child once too. Like I feel like so many parents have that problem where they're like, I am an adult and I know everything. I'm like, you were once me. Like, let's be real. And I'm a goody two shoes. Okay, like I'm. And still, I still think that that's like a good parenting thing because I think the best thing you could establish with your kid is that they trust you to tell or
Talk
that
to you
they'll
about
tell
these
you
things.
anything.
Yeah.
And if you're like showing that you're open to all of these experiences and stuff, they're likely going to tell you and you can like watch out for them versus you saying don't do that and then they go do all these things behind your back and you have no control over it.
Imagine worse. Like, what if you didn't have this, right? And he still sends it, and then you get a call randomly at 2 a.m. from his friend, and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Smith, like, can you help pick up Jimmy?" Like, what's wrong? Jimmy's like, he drank half a 2-6, and now he's, you know what I mean?
He's like puking his guts out.
Or has to get their stomach pumped. Like back in
Yeah.
our day, like we heard stories of high school kids at like other parties. They'd be like, "Oh, blah blah, had to go to the hospital then otherwise. Like, oh, he or she didn't know and had to get her stomach pumped.
It's funny
scary.
because the common denominator with all those people that happened to was they always had really, really strict parents.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I found. Yeah.
dang.
It would always they would be feeling awful and they would be like, no, you can't tell my parents, they'll kill me. And then they end up getting into a way worse situation because of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, being too sheltered is not good either because it can go many ways once you taste some freedom, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I also think you gotta weigh the odds. It's like the odds are that kid is gonna go to the party and drink, so you might as well. Like, I think if you looked at it and you're like, I don't know, they're just going for like a 1-to-1 sleepover, they probably won't. Okay, sure, but he's going to a party. Like, be for real.
For real. And he's
Be so
17.
for real.
This is like near
That's
the
the
tail
other
end.
thing. That's
If
what
he
I
was
was
like
gonna
13,
say.
probably
Yeah, right.
not.
Like, what age is it an asshole?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
parenting, we think that's good. But does the wife who's away have any reason to be as upset as she is?
I think it should have been a conversation first.
I was about to say, yeah.
Like, hey, this is my plan. We should probably be like in alignment before I go get our son drunk while you're in fucking Alaska. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, probably not the best. I would probably be pissed too, just simply finding out later. And it wouldn't even be like, I wouldn't even rationalize if that was a good plan that you had because I'd just be so upset that I
Yeah,
had no
yeah.
idea it happened.
Yeah.
You know?
So
Yeah.
once again, communication is key.
Exactly.
But his intentions was in the right place. Like, like he was like, oh, whatever, my wife's out of work thing, she's doing her thing. They probably like a level of assumption of trust, like,
Yeah.
we've done so many things together. We're on the same page about these things. She should be good with it.
And he probably thought it was like the right
and he
thing.
probably
was
thought,
like, yeah,
right?
this is a great plan.
It was just the one time where like 9 out of 10 times they were good. Just one time was like, oh, we weren't on the same page about this. So yeah, it's tough. But I don't think he's an asshole. I think his heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
He could have talked to his wife prior, 100%. But I think he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Could have been way worse.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too.
Agree.
Yeah. Would you do that? Would you have that talk with your kids?
Yeah, like I don't know if this is weird to say, but I was actually just talking about this as a hypothetical with my partner because we were talking about how he was like really rebellious as a kid
Yeah.
and his like parents were like relatively strict. And then we started talking. I was like, "Are you just gonna let if we had children do whatever the hell they wanted?" And he was like, "Oh hell no!" But I also feel like I would acknowledge that, like, yeah, I did these things too, and so like we need to be in conversation about that and like make sure it's like safe.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they can't do any of those things. I was like, yeah, that's fair. Same. Even though I wasn't raised like that.
Sam's gonna be a cool mom.
She's gonna be.
I'm not gonna be a cool mom. I'm gonna be
Let's
like,
go,
what'd you
girl."
say to me?
Mean Girls mom. I made you mojitos.
Show up to like kindergarten with my like little packed lunch and like Jello shots.
Yeah. It's crazy because like I was a product of like strict parents, but it wasn't like I had strict parents and then my parents who had fun. It's because they were also like very straight edge kids, so they couldn't even relate. They couldn't have been like, hey, I get it. I was a kid at your age once,
Oh,
because
they
their
were
age
just like,
once was
ah.
like. I was selling pencils in Vietnam to make it go by. I didn't have time to party.
That's
And-
true.
So it's a little different. But I agree with you. Said like I think because I had strict parents, I was down for anything. I was like I just didn't want to be told no anymore.
Oh, yeah, I went the other direction. I was like, I'm too scared. I was like, I'm too scared. I can't do it.
I think naturally as a kid you're so curious, and if someone is always telling you no and your parents maybe can't articulate why it's a no, you just want to know why even more. So naturally you're going to rebel.
Yeah. Because I think if the answer was something that you understood and it made sense to you, then you'd be like, oh, okay, cool. But a lot of, and maybe this is biased, like we're like 2.5 Asians here. A lot of Asian parents like no is no. You know what I
No
mean?
is no.
No
always
is no.
there.
That's just within the culture.
Yeah.
Like, listen to me. I'm older than you. I'm
Yeah.
wiser than you.
There's no conversation.
There's no conversation. You
Like,
are
how
12.
could you even ask me that?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I'll give you one more time to take that back. I'll give you one chance.
Yeah,
Imagine
rewind
being
the
on the
tape.
flip side of that. Imagine you have your like 10-year-old kid. He's like, "Whoa, why can't I put the fork in the toaster?" Like, kind of thing. And you have to like reason out. I'm like, I shouldn't have to explain myself here.
Don't let idiots ruin your day. It's your own child.
I would just probably show them like a video on YouTube what happens.
Google it.
Google it.
Sign him up for like electrical
6 years
engineering
old.
courses.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I don't want to get too off topic, but with that scenario, right? Like he is 17. Where's like how far back do we get where it's like a bad thing?
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
feel like even like a couple years back is a lot, because when you're
Yeah.
maturing, you're growing so fast. You're learning so many things on year over year. So I think 17 is like the cutoff. I think you get to like 16, 15, and now it's like now it seems a little reckless
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I've always, and this is how I was raised too, I've always deemed 16 as like you are now responsible for your actions, and like that's how my parents raised me. Once I was 16, they really let go of the reins. But like 15 and 364 days, they were like, yo, you better watch it. But it was like such a clear moment of, okay, once you turn 16, this is your life now. Like you better start acting like an adult. And I feel like they were just priming me for like actual adulthood.
Right.
Because they probably were like, I don't know when she's going to move out. Like, I might as well start right now while she's still under our roof, as if I was going to move out anytime soon. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like
it
in my mind.
it also depends on the kid a little bit,
For
how
sure.
their maturity is, and also who they hang out with.
Yeah, that's true.
If there's a likelihood that they're going to start earlier, then maybe it is the responsible thing to do to have that little training session, make
Yeah.
sure they're safe and okay.
Yeah. Like, I feel like he wouldn't have done that if the kid wasn't like, I'm going to this house party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, it wasn't just like, all right, it's a random Tuesday. Let's train you for this.
What's on Eye of the Tiger?
That's so funny.
You're not letting this bloodline down.
Or like, as soon as the mom leaves, it's time. You know?
It's time. Teach you the hidden bloodline technique of how to shotgun a beer.
The mom's like, I'm never leaving this house again.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. I can't say for my childhood. Child, looking at you, we were worse.
Oh, I fear if we ever have children,
Yeah.
what the chaos will look like.
Hopefully your wives will
Yeah.
really.
I believe there's like two kinds of kids. There's kids that like were told things growing up and they just listen, which is I put you in that category. Then there's the kids like, I think you're kind of in that category too.
I think
growing
I
up,
was.
you
I
were
think I
actually,
was.
your mom said this, you're like, all right, mom. I'm like, my mom's like, don't touch the hot stove. I'm like, why? And she's like, do it. Is it gonna hurt? I'm like, bet.
But it's so preachy.
Yeah.
I said fork in the toaster, forgetting about you and the stove.
Yeah,
That was supposed to be satire, Ivan.
He's a learning by doing kind of guy.
Did I ever tell you the story about like my mom just finally understood what kind of kid I was? And it was like you remember back in the day, this might be a blast from the past for people, but it's the push-in lighters in cars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did I ever tell you how like my mom would just watch me and then just, I guess not. Okay.
I think you did tell this story.
Brief story time, but
Okay.
I'm a chaotic kid. You're better off just letting me do it. I learned my lesson, but I got to mess up one time, always. After that, I'm straight. So I would always be hurting myself. But mom was like trying to stop me from hurting myself, right? She's like, no, like you're so chaotic, stop it. And then I think when I was like 7 or 8, she's like, no, this is just who my kid is. He's
stupid.
Like, this is the dice roll I rolled, and this is who he is. I got his love for him. So I remember we're sitting in the van. I think she drove me back from like summer camp. It's a quiet ride, you know, just whatever. I'm in the front, and I'm driving. I'm bored. My demons take over my mind. My intrusive thoughts. So for people who don't know or just younger, the push-in lighter, it's back in the day, cars used to have a push-in lighter. You push it in, it gets hot, and then it flicks out, and you use that to light because people use to smoke in their car. So we had that in one of my old vans, and I remember I looked at it. It used to be fun to push. You go, you're like, sick. It's like OG fidget spinner. So I pushed it in. I remember too, my mom just side-eyed it. She's like, all right.
Let's see what happens.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, do. And it's a very distinct click, right? The car right side, I was like, okay. And she looks down. I remember I see it. I'm like, oh, my mom's looking at me. Grabs the lighter. I'm like, ooh, it's hot. I go.
Do you have like survival instincts? I don't understand. Like,
I don't know
usually
why.
you wouldn't have to go all the way to like licking the thing to know that it's gonna be
I
bad.
had to know.
You had to know.
So I went, but I didn't, like, it was one of those pains where, like, I just didn't, I wasn't, like, crying or anything. I put it back, and then I just rolled down the window. It goes.
He's like,
The whole time the car outside, I just put my hand out the window and I left it there. My mom's like, "Did it hurt?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, now you know, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And we just kept going home.
you take a knife and you're just like, what's wrong with you?
I was stupid. I
love that moment. That must have been so many different compound experience for you guys to have that relationship at that moment.
Yeah.
Dude.
Where she's
Like,
just
have you ever watched a movie where they like,
I'm like, Mom was right. She was right. The red glowing thing was not fun to touch. But I didn't like being told no.
No one even told you no in that situation.
No,
That can't
but like
hurt.
growing up, she's always like, "Don't touch the hot stove," or like, I would be the kid that would mess up or do something or be told you can't. It wasn't like, okay, I shouldn't. It'd be, how do I find a way to not get caught the next time? Yeah. But anyways,
Interesting.
yeah, that's how I.
Where some of these toxic traits originated from, you know? How do I not get caught?
Ivan's the asshole for touching hot things.
Touches hot things, red flag.
That's so good.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
what's the next one?
I got another story.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for making a dad joke? Note, my stepdaughter Madeline was about a year old when I married her mother Jessica. Madeline's father died before she was born. Madeline is currently 15 and she's rebelling for almost everything. She did something bad, so when I picked her up, I set up a punishment for her. Then she said, "You're not my dad, I don't have to follow you." Honestly, I got hurt a little bit from that, but I understand that she didn't mean it and she'd probably change. I just replied, "I am still your legal guardian for the next 3 years, and as long as you live in my house, you have to follow my rules." That happened about 2 days ago, so our family was going to the grocery store when Madeline said, "I'm hungry, I need food." I decided to be extremely cheeky and say, "Hi, hungry, I'm not your dad." My son started laughing uncontrollably. My daughter was just quiet with embarrassment, and my wife was berating me. I honestly thought it was a funny dad joke, and my son agrees. So am I the asshole?
Okay, first of all, it's berating. You're done. Second of all, what?
That was a good dad joke, though. That was a good dad. There were so many layers
No,
to
it
it.
would have been "Hi, hungry" is the dad joke, and then he just kept going.
Because the
Hi,
preface to
hungry.
pass, I'm not your
Not
dad.
your
I'm
dad.
not your dad.
No, because like
That's
usually
so
the guardian would buy the food, right?
How old was she? 15?
Hi, hungry.
I'm hungry, I'm not your dad.
Yeah. No, because isn't it usually the dad joke's like, "Hi, hungry, I'm dad." Or,
Yeah,
"Hi, hungry,
exactly.
I'm Sean."
Yeah.
So
That was like a meta dad
That was a
joke.
Yeah,
meta
that
dad
was.
joke.
It had layers.
layers.
There were so many layers. I want to say not asshole because I would have done the same.
The thing is, I think it's funny, but imagine a 15-year-old.
Yeah, right? Like,
Like,
what's,
that could
what's
have
the
some
impact?
impact.
Yeah.
Like if she's still feeling bad about that at 15 too, like she's still working through it. I'm sure that if you're not, you're just adding another layer of like, I hate this more
Yeah.
so. But damn, do I respect a good joke? I love a good joke.
Also, like, she's 15. Like, does she understand the joke? Like, we get it. Hi, hungry, I'm dad. Hi, hungry, I'm not your dad. I'd be like, what? How did we get here? I'm hungry.
Yeah. I feel like everything in that environment worked against her. She's hungry. She feels this type of way against her like legal guardian. She's probably not even thinking about jokes. She's like,
Yeah, right?
not
Like,
again,
I need
Paul.
sustenance.
Yeah.
I think that's another one of those things where, like, at a certain age over, could have hit.
Yeah.
And 15's
15, yeah, that might be a bit
low.
But is he an asshole?
he's an asshole.
I don't think he's an asshole. It was probably not the best choice.
Yeah.
But, you know, no one's perfect, you know.
It's like when you see like the fruit is there.
Oh yeah,
It's just so
I know
quick,
that
you
exact
know?
feeling.
Yeah, it's just like it's just there. Like quick, it's a quick witty, like you don't even think about it.
when I get those, when I see those opportunities, my
You can
eyes just
see it.
light
You can
up.
fucking
I'm like,
see it.
oh, I have something
He
here.
sits
Yeah,
up tall.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, hold on. Everyone shut up.
It's coming.
And then I
All
tell
eyes
the
on
worst
me.
joke ever.
No one laughs. He's cackling. He's slapping his knee with his
out of
knee
the
coming
ball.
up
So
to his
funny.
fucking.
There's always one person that thinks it's funny, and
Yes.
as long as someone laughs, It's a good joke.
I am giving him the benefit of the doubt. He said it in a way that was very obviously joking.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully that softened it a bit. But imagine he was like, "Hi, hungry. I'm not your dad."
Yeah, he was trying to double down the fact that like, oh, you want food? Go ask your real dad energy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah,
like,
that
"Whoa."
That would have
Yeah.
bad. But he's
So,
like,
I didn't
I'm
know how
hungry.
he said it.
I'm not your
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, LOL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the son laughed, so he got it. Because the son, like, is the son also...
Is the son old?
He must be older, and he must be also a
think so.
product of a divorced parent, right? So he understood it, but yeah, who knows? There could be layers to this.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. Just the embarrassment from the wife. She was just like,
Dude.
she's like, why did I marry this guy?
She fist bumps him behind the back.
like,
Like, yeah, nice one.
Bangers.
Yeah, I feel like not an asshole.
Sorry, Madeline.
Madeline. Yeah. Grow up, Madeline. Deal with it. No, I'm just kidding. That was really insensitive. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're allowed to feel it the way you are. That's tough. That is tough.
All right, what else I got here?
I like this episode.
Yeah.
I don't care if
I'm
you guys
great.
like it. I like it.
As long as I'm not the asshole.
The amount of like spelling errors and like run-on
Oh, yeah.
sentences while I'm trying to read out lound, I'm like, are people gonna think I can't read?
He can't.
It's the
Yeah, that's
internet.
true.
It's all
He's
good.
illiterate.
I'll do text to speech next time.
Text
you know?
to speech. Hey Alexa,
Hey
can
Siri,
you read this
please
Reddit
read
post?
it. Yeah.
I'm not your dad.
Daddy.
Am I the asshole?
I am not your daddy.
Okay, here's one. This one was interesting.
All right.
Am I the asshole for refusing to punish or allow my wife to punish our son? This all started back in March. My son's best friend turned 13. In his family, 13th birthday is a huge deal. In addition to a massive party, which all four of us were invited to, his parents took him to Disney World. They invited my son as well.
Ballin'.
Yeah, right? My wife was hesitant to consent with this. She said it was unfair to allow our son to go when our 9-year-old daughter can't, especially since she loves Disney and princesses. I said that our kids won't always have the exact same opportunities, and if we set a precedent here, we'll have to stick to it if our daughter ever gets similar opportunities. So we'd just be punishing both our children needlessly. My wife reluctantly agreed that we should allow our son to go. I gave our son money to buy his sister souvenirs. He did, and his friend's parents even bought extra stuff for him to give to her. Still, when he came back wearing a Star Wars shirt with Mickey and a trading pin lanyard, she burst into tears. My wife later said we made a huge mistake and we should have never let him go. I, mistakenly, thought all of this was behind us. Now we are not well off financially, and my brother-in-law is. He invited us all to go to his beach house where he rented it for a summer send-off. My wife told me she wants to have our son stay with my dad and just take the daughter to even the score. I told my wife that isn't happening. We are their parents. We can't favor one child over the other. Not being invited to the birthday trip of a kid you barely know is no way incomparable to being left away from a family vacation. And I was shocked that she would even suggest such a thing. I refused to allow it. Now my wife is angry, but I don't care. I'm not punishing my son for being lucky. Am I the asshole?
No, the wife's the asshole.
Yeah, I agree with him for sure.
What the
dad.
hell? Like
what?
Sorry, like my son has a friend. They're like, hey, we're going to Disney World. Like that's his own world. That's his own
Yeah,
life.
you can't fabricate an identical life across two people
make it
who are
even?
different ages, different people. Like that just, you're setting yourself up for failure, just like you
100%.
said.
And I think it's over coddling. Like if she's trying to make things
Sure.
match to the exact, then I think that's a bad life lesson to learn as a kid.
Yeah, for
Always
sure.
expecting that just because someone else gets something that you are going to get that same opportunity.
Yeah.
Also adding to that, like setting the precedent that if somebody gets something and you don't, that they then need to be punished for you to like get something else. Like that, you're teaching your daughter some like whack skills.
Yeah, she's gonna fail in the real world when you realize like you
Yeah,
gotta
or
earn
she'll-
things, you gotta work hard for things.
She'll
nothing's
like
given
want to
to you.
be vengeful or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's not.
Yeah, it's like a fake scoreboard system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I agree. The one thing's like, when's a family vacation? Like,
Yeah.
what do you just
Stay
omit
home.
a kid from the family? Like, there's one thing he's going to hang out with his friend, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's his friend. If they want to go to Disney World, they go to Disney World. But you're like, sorry, son, you can't go hang out with your aunts and uncles. That's a core memory as a kid.
Yeah.
You're not
That's
gonna have
so true
that.
too. Like what he said about the favoritism, like you're clearly showing favoritism for the girls' experience. If you're saying like, oh, because you went on this one experience, you have to now stay home and you can't come to this family thing. What's the why? Like, good luck explaining that to the son in a way that's reasonable.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It seems super like reactive. She's like, "Oh no, my daughter had negative emotions.
Yeah,
I
like,
need
how do
to
I
do
fix
something
it?
about
Yeah,
it."
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it was probably tough, like staying home, watching your daughter like cry and stuff, and you're trying to just do anything that makes it. But like, try to make her happy. Don't take the other guy down just so that like.
And I thought it was nice. He brought souvenirs for
Yeah,
his sister,
that's nice.
everything.
They tried, and it sounded like she didn't even know he went until he came back. She's like, oh, he saw him with the Star Wars shirt and everything. That's when she started crying. Like,
Or maybe that's when like the jealousy kicked in the most, right?
Yeah, maybe.
but yeah, no, still. I mean, yeah, bought souvenirs. Like, take her maybe when she's older. Maybe her birthday, you guys can take her as a family.
Yeah, right.
or
That's the
something.
other thing. They're like different at different points in their lives.
Yeah.
like they're not ever gonna be. Like he's lived longer.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to get some more stuff going on.
Yeah. Also
Yeah.
sounds like too, like it seems like the mom maybe, or I've noticed it maybe with some parental styles, and it's not a bad thing if you do it this way. I don't want to get cancer or nothing, but it's just some people are afraid of like their kid being sad or their kid like getting hurt or anything like that. It's just a normal thing in life, right? It teaches you a lot.
It does.
So in my case, I'm hurting myself out here as a kid.
You're learning all those lessons.
Yeah. But it's like I get it. It's very natural, like call a kid like, this is my baby. I don't want them to be sad, hurt, whatever. But it's like it's something you learn in
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah. Like you can protect them from the really bad stuff, but like the normal day-to-day stuff,
Normal
like let's
day-to-day.
just toss them in.
Yeah,
And support them
Yeah.
yeah.
and explain to them why it's like okay.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, okay, cool. That's just life.
That's kind of
One thing I heard was when you're a kid, like you have so few experiences that anything that happens could easily be the worst thing that's ever happened to you,
Totally.
right? It could be the worst thing in your life. But if you don't like tackle those on and you don't meet them and you just try to like avoid those situations, and you never get growth, right?
yeah, right? Like
Yeah.
would you rather tackle it when you're sub 10 or when you're like over 20?
Yeah. Then you're in trouble.
Yeah, right? Like, I can't believe my friend's going to Disneyland. You're 26 years old. Like, you're freaking out. Your mom's like, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'll take it in
It's okay, she's ugly.
She doesn't know what she's missing out on, honey. Yeah. Plus, as a baby, imagine a baby, like, you got everything you wanted. Like, you lived in a world of instant gratification. It's only until maybe you're like 3 or 4 when they're like, okay, now you're walking. It's when you started building those, like,
Totally.
long-term kind of like, okay, like, you know, I
Gotta work for stuff.
work for things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, not everything's gonna go your way anymore. And that, like you said, you have so few experiences. Everything's gonna suck. Like, remember the first time you fell even. You're like, oh, what is this?
Yeah. It's like, damn, my shit got rocked.
The ground can do this to you.
I don't trust nothing no more.
My legs have
know.
betrayed me.
Literally, I felt like I went through that again as an adult. Like maybe 3 years ago when I started learning how to snowboard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a point,
I thought you were
I was
just
just
falling.
walking around. He was like,
oh
holy
no,
shit.
God, why did you tell me corners hurt? No, but it's like you get to the point where, you know, in life you're like, okay, I'm good. But there's also like that point of from maybe when you're like, you know, young teen to like an adult teen, at least with the physical aspect, you used to be able to, like, I used to fall,
For
eat
sure.
shit.
Yeah,
I used
So
to bounce back
bouncy, yeah.
fast. But it was until learning to snowboard again, I fell one time, I laid there. I got folded by the mountain. I was like, oh, I'm not built like that anymore.
I'm so
What?
crunchy,
Yeah, when did this happen?
creaky.
I was like, I go to the gym, I do things, and I found, I'm like, wait, this not the same.
Something ain't right.
Yeah, something right here. When did I get nerfed? Like, when did they update the patch? yeah. I know. So that was my midlife
joys.
physical crisis.
I love that. All of a sudden, all the things that were real as a kid are suddenly back
They're
to
back.
haunt you.
They're
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Dude, sometimes I think about that. This is totally different. Sometimes I do think about that, like, as you get older and, like, your mental abilities go down, like, you kind of revert to being a kid again.
Oh.
In terms of, like people kind of talk to you like a kid, too. Like, old people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Grandma. like you kind of do revert, but then you're just like your body hurts.
Yeah.
At the same time, and you've seen some shit, you know.
Just wear diapers again.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And like you need like caretaking again. Like you just go right back.
Feed you.
Crazy.
You have set nap times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pretty much are a big baby.
Sounds kind of nice.
Sounds
me
like,
back.
Sounds nice now. Because then you have the option of not being a baby. Yeah. But when you're like, I don't want to be a baby anymore.
Yeah, please stop.
Please stop.
I'm an adult. Yeah, another one or?
We got time for one more?
Oh yeah, let's
Okay,
do one
you got
more.
time for one more.
We got time.
Let's see here.
Give me a good
Those like
juicy
parent ones just made me like slightly freak out about like you never know.
You never
right?
know.
Like you can't tackle all of those situations in conversation before you have children with someone. So you're just kind of like trying to figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
And like what if your partner was like super against something that you felt really strongly about?
Yeah, like how your way of say punishing your child or like how you give love to your child. Yeah, I think that's also. So what I've kind of thought about when coming to that is when you like talk to someone, usually someone with similar shared experiences as a kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually you guys pertain to the same way of like if I had a kid, this is how I would raise my kid. It's very similar. It's like you guys came from similar backgrounds, similar like upbringings of how you were raised as a kid. Because then you have the same traumas and you also know what happened to you.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to go to that conversation of a partner where let's say they've only been grounded their whole life and I'm Vietnamese, guys. I got beat. Think about I was a dumb kid. I got beat for everything.
So your requirement for a future mother is that she was also beat as a kid.
Yeah,
Is there a line for that on your dating profile?
My Hinge
Swipe
filter.
left if you were coddled as a child.
Yeah. Maybe not beat, but just like, hey, how were you
little
punished as a
smack.
kid?
Yeah.
You got a little spanking? Yeah.
Yeah.
How do clothes hangers make you feel?
Oh my god. Okay.
I
next.
remember hearing some of your stories, It's crazy that you still wanted to hurt yourself knowing that the consequences were to get hurt.
Yeah. Those made more sense to me because I hurt myself. Yeah. But when I was getting beat, I was like, I don't get it, Mom. Why? I didn't do it.
You don't need it. I know it hurts. Yeah. You don't need to try this one.
This is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you.
I never wanted to do this. She puts on her arm sleeve. Right.
Oh my god. Okay, take us home.
That's so good. All right, I get the last one. Am I the asshole for not saying anything about the underwear? Ominous, yeah. My 20-year-old daughter and her fiance are currently staying with us. I love my daughter, but she is very difficult and I can't stand her fiance. I gave them a deadline to move out because I can't take this anymore. They got into a massive fight the other day, and while my wife was out, massive fight the other day while my wife was out. I guess a pair of my wife's underwear got in with their laundry, and she thought he was cheating. I think the fact that she immediately jumped to cheating shows how bad the relationship is. She was waving the underwear around, and I recognized it because of the floral print. But I just let this ridiculous fight go on. My wife came home about 30 minutes, and she said that they were hers. My wife asked if I didn't realize that they were hers, and I accidentally laughed. My wife asked if I didn't realize they were her, and I accidentally laughed. My daughter burst into tears and won't talk to me. Her fiance said that we're fucked up and left the house, but my wife thought it was funny.
So it's the husband who saw
So the
underwear and knew it was the wife.
But didn't say nothing.
But was like,
he didn't say anything, and he just let the circus unravel.
He thought it was funny.
It's kind of asshole.
It is, yeah. I was about to say it's pretty funny, but it's
pretty funny.
But it's an asshole move.
Yeah. Also, you're her dad. Like, come on. Like, if it's like your brother and you're just like, fucking young and stupid, he is your dad. Like,
your dad is like trying to wreck your marriage.
No, and also like, if he never said anything and she believed that like her fiance, like that can give you serious trust issues for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
That's a betrayal.
That's a betrayal. And then you find out you carry that with you into like all of your future relationships. You're like, again, defamation of that guy. Like everyone you talk to, you're like, you would not believe what Craig did to me. It's your fucking mom's underwear, like that.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So.
And who knows, like, that the fiance, what if she'd been cheated on before? That's why she's so choked about it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
true.
That's true.
So like, it's just like a double down, you know? But damn, it was a good joke.
Right, like I want to know if his intention was to eventually say, I mean, it's bad either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
either
bad
way.
either way.
Because they said like the relationship wasn't doing well already, right?
Yeah,
But
and
that's
they really
subjective.
don't like her fiance.
Oh, and they
as
don't
well.
like her. Okay,
they
okay.
don't like the guy that she's
maybe-
with. So
Yeah.
maybe they're trying to see it end, right?
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
trying to kick them out. So clearly, there's already tension.
Yeah, like malicious.
See,
not
okay,
really
so
malicious.
that's my new question because I was about to say, oh, like they could have a conversation about like them not liking the fiance, but then is that warranted, like for your parents?
To meddle with your love life like that.
Yeah, or to like give an opinion on that when you're an adult.
20s, it's an
Actually,
adult,
yeah, that's
but
true. That's- she's
it
pretty
is kind of
young.
young. It is
Yeah,
kind
that
of
is
young.
pretty young.
I feel like regardless of age, maybe like your parents can have an opinion, but like it's an opinion, right? That's what it is. Like, hey, I wouldn't mind if my parents like, hey, I'm not a fan of your partner per se, but that's just me. If you love her, then you love her, right? Like I would like to hear that still, even if I was like 28 or 29, right? Sure, it's kind of suck, to be honest.
Yeah, right? Like
would
it
suck.
would
I'm like, oh,
put a
really?
lot of
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a weird stress, but then I don't know. I would rather hear it versus like to notice every family out they've been just putting on a front, or like
Yeah.
I think what my parents do is they don't say anything if they're not that down, and then they'll praise the ones they do like. Because I'm like thinking back, my parents have never once sat me down when they probably should have with a couple and been like, we don't think this person is right. Which I applaud. My parents have always been very just like, we trust you
Yeah.
once I hit a certain age. But I think their tactic is like, we're just gonna be silent and let this unfold the way it needs to unfold. You know?
I like the system that your parents
Yeah.
have. I think that's really fair.
I think
that's
so too.
really fair.
Because it can get really in your head if your parents are like, and they only see a certain side, right? Like they can only really give an opinion on a certain percentage of the relationship, and that can get like really in your head. And what if that person you really did feel like was your person, but your parents disapprove now, or you feel that they do?
Yeah.
Like that can really like be jarring.
Yeah, but what about on the flip note, right? Like the
Yeah,
flip side where it's
true.
like, you know, you've heard these situations where like, let's say there's a relationship and the one person is treating the other person quite poorly,
Totally.
but they're so in love, so enamored, or like they only think about the good times. Maybe they have a bad fight, calls her names and whatever, but the next day they go on a nice date and like he does this or she does this in front of the parents, and they're like, I don't think your partner should be talking to you like this. But like, no, dad, mom, I love him. Like this is that. Then
I
you're
think
like,
that's fair. Like,
like,
I
what do you
think
do?
if you're like, hey, I'm seeing all of these really like red
Yeah.
flags and I want better for you versus I just don't really like him.
yeah,
You
know?
that's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had a daughter and her fiance was living in my house and disrespecting my daughter,
For sure.
you know, then
For
I'm
sure.
like,
You're
okay,
like,
where's the circus? Like,
Yeah.
let's see how this plays out.
Yeah.
You know,
We don't know, like, what if it was like that? We don't know from
Yeah,
that
you
story.
don't know.
just like I found another pair of
Yeah,
underwear.
you never-
yeah.
There's 20 over here.
Yeah.
So I feel like most parents wouldn't, like, if the guy was pretty neutral, like the parents never saw anything, I don't think any parent, at least I wouldn't be like, I hate him. Like, what do you hate him for, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's your
Like he's
basis
just a little quiet.
here?
He's just like a little awkward.
I'm not it, you know?
It's not really giving.
Yeah, it's not really giving.
Not really giving.
He's not really
Sam
giving.
as a mother.
Yeah. He's giving. He's a little icky.
Yeah. It's not like
Maybe she's
slaying
old
right
right
now.
now.
So if you can
Listen to me,
find
Pookie.
this is not Pookie.
This is not Pookie.
Pookie.
It's the way he acts.
You guys are on the
He's
internet
kinda
way
giving
too
me
much.
the ick.
Oh man.
Doesn't he give you the ick? No? That was just me? Oh, shit. Damn.
What just happened here? What just
I'm gonna
happened?
derail.
Yeah.
Chronically online.
Yeah, that is something else.
And with that,
Wait, but final.
Goodbye, all the online
yeah.
viewers.
Is he the asshole or he not the
yeah,
asshole?
what did you think?
I would say he's a little asshole.
He's
a
the
little
asshole.
asshole.
Yeah.
There's other ways.
There's notes of asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he found joy in his daughter's distress.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
still
she's
pretty funny, but he's an
sobbing and
asshole.
being like, "You cheated on me" and all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just there with the popcorn and everything,
Yeah,
crack a
like he's
beer.
like laughing when the wife comes. Like that was a bit.
Oh, it's funny. The wife came home and laughed
Yeah,
at it
'cause it's
too.
the mom, right?
Oh, she laughed. I
Yeah,
thought
she
he
laughed.
She laughed
She
too.
came back and she thought it was funny as well.
What kind of underwear is
You're
mom
getting-
wearing?
you're getting
if it's the
bullied.
same underwear as you. You know what I mean?
Like
Like I'm just saying.
any underwear. Is
Yeah,
bad
any underwear is any. It probably wasn't like, oh, what are these cheap ass, you know?
Yeah, I would be like,
What are these granny panties?
I would be like, you know, I don't know. You'd be like, you're living in the house of your parents. Then like,
That's true.
right? Like if I saw
Laundry
some
gets mixed up.
granny ass panties, but if I saw like a G-string on the bed or something, I'd be like,
My rhinestone Ed Hardy G-string.
Like, I don't think mom wears this. Like, I don't.
Hey, she might, you know.
Yeah,
21.
maybe. I don't want to know
She's
that.
like what, a millennial mom maybe?
That's true.
Yeah, she's a cool mom.
Yeah,
cool
she's a
mom.
cool mom.
Yeah.
She be wearing a thong.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Little asshole.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, everyone, thanks for joining in. If you have different summaries and you feel differently about these assholes or non-assholes,
Yeah.
then please let us know. And, you know, if you have any other ideas or things you would like us to read out, react to, and discuss, then leave it down in the comments below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
tell
us know what kind of kid you were. Do you like? Were you like me or were you like Sam and
No,
Sean?
no one was
I don't
like
think anyone
you.
was like
I'm
I've
not
you.
alone.
never
Well,
met
Angus
any-
is our friend Angus. He was like me.
You sound like a character out of a movie almost, you know? That one
Yes.
kid where it's just like the
It's like a
scene where they're going to
cartoon.
hurt themselves.
I was a special boy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had to know.
Okay.
Still are.
Well, we're getting out of here. So,
Okay.
bye,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you.
No one else licked batteries as a kid. I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
Licked?
I like batteries.
Yeah,
I wanted
like,
to know.
like, cause it
Yeah.
tingles and it's
It
acidic.
tingles. It
And
tingles.
you're like,
And he's like,
there we go. See, you had to know. You had to know. I'm not alone. I was a weird kid, but you had to. I had some things I look at like.
Keep that in.
oh no. That's myself.
Still recording.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a kid, but like, what would this taste like? I remember I got a Skittle sized thing stuck up my nose in daycare because I'm like, what if I put this in my nose and it stuck? It was during nap time, and I remember I was freaking out.
Jesus
I was like,
You are like the ER's worst nightmare.
Everyone's trying to sleep. I was just like snorting like a.
I was a
Yeah.
bad kid. Yeah, but yeah, no, I was weird. I was like, what is this taste like? Nope, that's dirt.
You're